Hello, good morning. Good morning. This is Michelle from Twilight Yoga, and today we are talking about how yoga can affect your mental health. Because at the moment, with everything that's going on around us, with the whole COVID situation, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of stress, and yoga is being more and more recommended as an alternative to counseling, or as an alternative to, or as a complement to support a complete treatment to support everybody's mental health. If you suffer from anxiety, stress, that kind of things, which unfortunately at the moment quite a few of us are impacted by that through a whole variety of reasons, being just a complete anxiolytic environment we are in, or you can have specific issues to do with jobs and family situations. So there's a lot going on at the moment, and yoga can definitely help. And so today I just wanted to go over the 4 main positive benefits I have personally experienced from a yoga practice on a mental health level. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about how it works, because sometimes yoga can be seen as just a body stretch by some people, which I talked about last week, and yoga goes a lot further than that. And as you can see, my dog is stealing my yoga mat over there. Never mind. So the first thing I wanted to start with was a quote that I came across this morning, actually, when I was reading the source, which I'm still reading. It says, "Your body hears what your mind says." So your body hears what your mind says. And basically what that means is that whatever goes on up there, your body feels it. And whatever stress or negative emotion or anger or depression, anything like that, that is going to directly feed into the way your body is feeling. And we've all experienced that. You've got a stressful day at work, you come back home, you've got a headache, or your shoulders are really tense, or your lower back is hurting. So we've all experienced that. But what we might not aware of sometimes is that every emotion leaves a track, leaves a trace in our body. And that's where yoga comes in. Because yoga uses the body to try and release the negative emotions. So there is that constant feedback between the body and the mind. They both influence each other. We are thinking stressful, negative emotions. Our body is physically going to get into stress mode. Our heart rate is going to become more agitated. Our digestion is going to be impacted. Our muscles start tensing. And equally, if on a physical level we are acting in a way that's very kind of depressed or down and looking down and very much closed in, that's when we are feeding back to our mind that there is something wrong, that there is something to be worried about. And that's where yoga comes in and basically help us use our body, because our body is the easiest thing to work with. When you want to change your emotions, it's not always easy because it's all in the head and there's a lot going on. And if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling down, it's not easy purely in the head for me, I couldn't, it really is hard purely in the head to sort through that. Whereas by using your body, you can reframe the way your mind thinks, basically. And so the first thing that yoga does is it calms your mind. By doing yoga, you focus on your body, you focus on your breath, and there is only so much that your mind can focus on at any given time. So by doing that, by focusing on your body, on your movements, on your breath, yoga forces you to focus on the present moment. And that is the essence of mindfulness, isn't it? And mindfulness is another thing that is recommended when you suffer from stress and that kind of things. So yoga, the first thing it does is it calms your mind by bringing you in the present moment. Because a lot of our negative emotions, they come from either ruminating on stuff that's happened before that we can't do anything about it, but it's still there, causing us some aggravation, or we are going forward and going, oh my God, you know, what if this doesn't work out? What if that doesn't work out? And I'm very much guilty of that. I'm not so much ruminating, but I'm very much going forward and getting worried about stuff. So it's a working, you know, I think it's a lifelong journey, really, to work with our body to affect the way we think. So the first thing it does is calming the mind by really bringing you in the moment. And by doing that as well, what it does is it impacts the quality of your sleep. Because that's one of the things that really was the warning sign for me when I first started doing yoga, is that I could not sleep anymore. I was so anxious, so worried that going to bed, I hated it because I would be left there on my pillow with my thoughts, and it was horrible. So first of all, what I did, you know, I avoided, so I had the TV on. I would work until I was literally falling asleep, you know, standing up, so that the second my head hit the pillow, that was it, I was gone. But you can't do that. That's not good for your body. You know, if your body is tired, you need to sleep. And unfortunately, stress prevents you from doing that. So using your body, using the breath, yoga helps you to sleep better. It helps you to relax, it helps you to calm down. And then when you get to bed, your body is in a much better place to sleep. And if you're interested in that, if you go on my YouTube channel, Tree Light Yoga, YouTube, you will find there is a short class on yoga for better sleep. So that might be something that you might want to look at if it's something you're interested in. Now, the other two aspects that I find really, really powerful in yoga is that, first of all, it creates a positive mindset, a positive approach to life. And then it helps you break negative patterns. And in terms of mental health, that is very, very powerful, because when you think about it, actually, I'm going to first read you an extract from that same book that I'm reading at the moment, The Source, because that is really, I read that this morning actually at breakfast, and I was, yeah, that is exactly what I'm trying to say. So here it's talking about a Harvard psychology professor, Ellen Langer, who at a conference described emotions as being more like ingredients available in a chef's pantry than untamed forces of nature to which we have no control of. So we can choose to act on our emotions as we would choose ingredients for a recipe. Our brain is engaged in this process the whole time, selecting the ingredients to combine to form a response to the situation we find ourselves in. A pinch of surprise, a splash of excitement, a shake of fear. The way I put it, that's the author talking now, is that if somebody upset us, we could either make scrambled eggs or bake a cake. And basically what she's saying is that we are not the victim of our emotions, and sometimes it feels like that. When you are feeling anxious, it can very much feel like anxiety is taking over and you have no control over it. It's taking over everything. Fortunately, that, even if it feels like that, it's not actually the case. We always have a choice. Because you probably have come across that model where there is the event and then there is a reaction. And there is that gap in between. And that gap is where we can choose how we want to act or how we want to feel about whatever thing has happened. Unfortunately, very often there is no gap, or it doesn't feel like there is a gap. Something happened and straight away we get angry, we get stressed, we get anxious, we start crying, whatever. But what yoga does is that it creates that little gap between what happens and then the way you're going to react to it. And that's where the power lies, really, is in that space. If you start working in a way that you can make that space bigger, then you have a choice. Something happens, you have a choice. You can get angry, you can get stressed, or you can choose to leave the room before the arguments gets too much and, you know, take a breather, get your thoughts together, and then come back to it. or you can choose to, rather than get sucked in whatever it is on the TV that is making you feel anxious, you can choose to switch the TV off and go for a walk. So these are those little things that little by little are going to change your mindset altogether. And I've seen that with me, and I've seen that with some of my clients. They first come to yoga, like I did, because they just want to calm the busyness in their mind and the stress in their mind. And then as they keep going, as they keep coming to yoga, and as I kept going to yoga, you start realizing that there's more happening, there's more going on. It's like there is more time between something happening and the way you react to it. And then you can start to make better choices for yourself. Like one of my clients was saying that thanks to my classes, she developed enough confidence to go and to apply to universities that before she would not have been able to do that, because something in her mind was telling her, no, this can't happen, don't go there, it's too scary, or whatever it is. I don't know all of the details, but one thing is certain, now she did the application, she got a place in something that she really wants to do. And that came from choosing to act differently, choosing to feel differently about something. So that's where yoga really, for me, is really, really powerful, is that it changes all of those patterns. Because from the moment we are born, we start growing and we start learning, and we learn from our parents, from our siblings, from the school. We are taught, I don't know, for example, one of the things that my mother kept telling me was, oh, just get on with it, it doesn't matter, just get on with it. And for years I did that, I just got on with it, and bottom line, I was overwhelmed and I had anxiety because I never listened to the signals that I had in my body, that I needed to rest, I needed to look after myself. And sometimes I still fall into that because those patterns are deeply ingrained. But yoga helps you to create that gap. It takes work, of course it does. It's no magic pill that's going to solve all of your mental well-being or mental health issues overnight, but it is going to, little by little, really put you in control of your life. Because from the moment you can handle your emotions, then you make better choices, because everything we do is based on emotions. Everything we do, what we choose to eat, what we choose to drink, the job we go for, the way we dress in the morning, everything is based on emotions. So from the moment you start to work with those emotions and you start to master them, as it were, I don't really like that term, but to basically become friends with your emotions, I prefer that, and to kind of go, no, I'm not going to go down that road, I'm going to go down this road instead. That's when you can start to really change the way you feel, and that's where your mental health and your mental well-being can completely be transformed. Where you've got that freedom, you've got that space to choose who you want to be. And that's where that positive mindset comes from, because you are not at the mercy of what happens anymore. You can choose the way you react. So those are for me the four main benefits from yoga in terms of mental health. It is, first, it calms your mind, which then feeds into helping you sleep better. And sleeping is crucial. We all need to sleep, we all need to rest. It promotes a positive mindset, and it helps you break those negative patterns that you might have grown up with. So those are the positive effects of yoga on your mental health. Now, how does it do that? Well, it does that by working on the fact that we are much more than our physical body. We are a physical body, of course we are, but we are also our thoughts, as I said, our emotions, our energy level. All of that is who we are, and they are all linked. You've probably experienced it. When you're tired, you're more likely to feel stressed, you're more likely to feel anxious, you're more likely to overeat, for example. Equally, if you're feeling good and energized, you're more likely to feel positive, you're more likely to make, you know, confident decisions that normally would go, oh my God, no, I'm not going there. But because you're feeling good, you're doing it. So yoga uses the body, which is the easiest thing that we have to work with. And by using the body, it affects the mind, it affects the way you feel, basically. So on the 26th to the 30th of April, I'm running a 5-day free yoga event that goes deeper into all of those layers of who we are as human beings and how yoga affects all of them. But basically, just to really sum up and give you an idea of what it is that in the way we hold our body, in the way we move our body in a yoga class, we can help release some blockages that we might have and that stop our natural flow of energy to move around the body. So if you are feeling that your shoulders are tense, that your lower back is hurting, if you're feeling stressed, if you've got headaches, any kind of disturbance like that on the physical level or on a more mental level, by working with the body, yoga can help release all of that. And then once we free the body from those, you know, tight shoulders, tight joint, stiff lower back, once we free that, it allows for more energy to feel in your body, to flow in your body. And if you've ever been to a yoga class, you can probably know that by the time you finish the yoga class, you feel much better than you would if you had just done stretches. You see what I mean? It's not just the body stretches, it goes further than that. You've got that feeling of ease. You've got that weird mix of feeling both relaxed and equally more energized, and equally being able to sleep better. It's because yoga, just by stretching and by using the breath and by moving the body in certain ways, affect your whole system. We call that koshas in yoga. They're the layers of our being. The first layer is the body, which is what we work with most. The second layer is the energy, which we affect with the breath. And then we come to the thoughts and the emotions, which I just talked about. That's basically where we work from. It's like our autopilot. Then you've got what we call the witness layer, which is where we can look at those thoughts and emotions and go, hang on, that's not the way I want to go. That's that gap. That's where you create that gap I was talking about between action and between an event and a reaction. And then the last layer of the human body is bliss. It's what you touch, for example, in a relaxation. In yoga, in a relaxation where the body is calm, the mind is calm, and you can just be. There's no need to do anything anymore. You're just there and everything is fine. And what yoga says is that that's who we are. Deep down, we're fine. And then life happens and those layers build up. And they hide the fact that we can actually be fine if we just unpeel those layers. And that's what a yoga class does. A yoga class is unpeeling those layers of physical stress, of low energy, of emotional resistance. It's unpeeling all of that until you start to feel stronger, better, more confident, happier, as you should be. Because we all have that right to be happy and confident and to have the best life that we want, no matter what that might be for each of us. We all have our different dreams and aspirations. So, I might have waxed lyrical a bit, because as soon as you get me talking about yoga and mental health, I can go on for ages. I've got no idea what time it is. So basically, just to sum up, yoga for your mental health really is something that you want to look at if you have any kind of mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, or just overall stress and overwhelm. Yoga is going to help you by working with your nervous system, by working with your body. Yoga is going to help you clear your mind, calm your mind. It's going to give you that ability to manage your emotions in a much better way for you. So, as I said, if you want to know more about that, click, if you're on Facebook, it's at the top of the page. If you're on Instagram, the link is in my bio. you've got the details there of that 5 days. It's called a body and mind reset. And it basically is 5 days of very accessible yoga, very easy yoga classes, because I wasn't flexible when I started, and I really don't think that flexibility is required to do yoga. It isn't. So don't be scared if you think, oh my god, yoga, I'm not flexible. That doesn't matter. The classes are going to be super, super accessible to any kind of level or abilities. And the aim of those 5 days is to really help you connect to that power you have of being calm and confident. And yoga, those techniques that we're going to be going over during those 5 days, they are really going to give you those tools. And some tools are going to be super easy ones that you can use anytime, any place, and that are really designed at helping you manage your emotions better, so that your mental well-being is better, you feel stronger mentally. And then as soon as you feel stronger mentally, everything else in your life starts to fall into place. You know, we've all experienced that. So there we go. So this is for today. So I hope I'll see you from the 26th to the 30th. That would be lovely to go to explain a little bit deeper into, to get a bit deeper into how yoga works. And oh my god, what's my dog doing? What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You got an itch, have you? He's acting really weird. So yes, completely made me lose my train of thought now. So yeah, so 26th to 30th of April, we'll go on a journey really to see what yoga can do for you, to really help you peel away those layers of stress, those layers of self-doubt, and all of that, because you have a choice. You don't have to be stressed. You don't have to doubt yourself. And sometimes it might feel inevitable because of circumstances. But yoga really gives you that toolkit that you can use to start feeling stronger, to start feeling more confident, and to basically be happier in your life. So I hope to see many of you there, and I'll see you here next week for another live. I'll put the details in on Instagram and on Facebook on Monday at the beginning of next week. So sending you lots of love, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.